everyone, it's Frankie-Lou. I'm coming to you today from the Hightunnel that we're working on in Golden, BC. Today we're getting some lovely rain, which is wonderful to hear while I'm working away here in the tunnel. For those of you who watched my earlier video from about 2 weeks ago where I covered compost, companion planting, and crop rotation, you'll know that this Hightunnel, we're almost starting from scratch because unfortunately the soil was allowed to deteriorate dramatically over the winter, getting dried out. So I'm in the process of trying to get this so that I can start planting. And 2 weeks ago we added a nice rich layer of compost. I also started adding snow to the soil to get the moisture levels back up. I can see already a dramatic improvement in the soil here. But this week, approximately 2 weeks since the last time I was working here, I've added another layer of nutrition and soil enhancers, and that is some of the bedding from my rabbit. That's a mixture of a fine straw and her rabbit pellets, which act as a wonderful little slow release fertilizer. Rabbit manure is also a very wonderful addition to soil because most of the microbes and stuff in the soil do love it. Cold manure, which means I can add it directly. I'll do a whole other video about the benefits of rabbit manure, but we've added that this weekend. I'm also going to put now another layer of mulch on top of that, which is some of the dead plant matter that was pulled out of here earlier. Those of you who have followed me in the past know that I'm a huge fan of raised bed gardening, but this year we're doing an experiment. We're going to check to see the differences between planting 3 different ways. We're in this golden area here. We're going to do traditional raised bed gardening. We're going to do the Hightunnel in-ground gardening, and we're going to hopefully get started on the geothermal greenhouse as well. Just look at the difference in productivity and the difference in season extension we can get with those different methods. Here in Golden, they have a slightly less than 100-day growing season. So that's already a little bit better than what I have in my little Springbank homestead just outside of Calgary, because I'm closer to 90 days with mine. But we're hoping with this Hightunnel we can extend the season at least a month. Normally the last spring's frost here in the Golden region is near the end of May. I'm hoping I can start planting things in this Hightunnel here closer to the start of May. So we're hoping to extend the season by 2 weeks at that side of things. And they normally get their first frost here in the first week of September, and I'm hoping that I can continue the season on in here until the end of September. So that's the hopes. I'm fairly confident we should be able to do that because I see a huge difference. Now, this isn't a raised bed Hightunnel though. I do find that a little more difficult to work than the raised beds that I'm so fond of, but I have done a few things here to help. There were some lovely pavers, stacks and stacks of them here, and I'm a big fan of using what you have and not paying for things that you don't have to. So I have placed pavers around each of these beds. Multiple reasons for that. A, it's helping to define the space because I am going to be doing crop rotation in these beds. So I want to ensure that I'm not planting the same thing in the same area next year. This is helping to define my space a bit more. These pavers will absorb the heat during the day a little bit more and help to retain the heat in the beds a little bit more at night, just adding that little extra bit of protection. Another thing in terms of protection is they're going to help me from stopping to step on the beds. It's defining the space so I don't, although my dog doesn't seem to, get out of there. My dog doesn't seem to think that matters. The other thing that they're going to help protect, a very small amount, but every little bit helps, is from weeds. These pavers will help a little bit from weeds migrating into the beds because there is a defined non-planted space here. Every little bit you can do does help when you're dealing with a colder, shorter growing season like what we're dealing with here. Another thing is, one of the main reasons I love raised bed gardening is because of the lack of soil compaction, and you can plant more intensively. So, that's not an option here, and I am going to be having to work this garden bed, and they're bigger than my traditional 4x4 raised bed. One thing I do is I use large boards so that if I do have to, for instance, sit in here in this raised bed and work in an area in this raised bed, having a larger thing that I'm sitting on like this is stopping my body from compacting just where it actually is. It displaces the weight a little bit, and so when you have a large board that you can work on, it might not seem like it'll make a difference, but I have seen the difference between just stepping into your bed with your bare foot and how much it compacts the soil. Whereas if you step on this, you're not really going to be compacting the soil anywhere near as much as you will. So that's a little tip. I always keep, when I'm working in a situation like this, I keep square boards and long boards depending on how I'm going to be moving around a bed. I do keep these around for that purpose. This is a long-term project, but I'm very excited about it, and it's so rewarding to see a difference in the soil nutrition, in the soil structure here already after only 2 weeks of working with the layering of the compost and the moisture. Now with this additional layering that I'm doing today and more moisture in here today, I really do believe that I'll be able to start putting the cooler weather companion plants in here within 3 or 4 weeks. And then within 6 weeks, I'm hoping to get my tomatoes and cukes and stuff in here. So we'll keep you posted. If you're interested in this project and how that experiment works out, please do subscribe and ask questions. Very excited to start sharing stuff about the geothermal greenhouses well soon, and some of the raised beds that we're going to be planting out here. There's also lots going on at the Grow to Gather homestead as well that we'll be keeping you apprised of. Tons of milk jug planting going on. As always, hope you take this chance to grow together today. Have a good one.